Welcome to another episode, friends. We're talking digestive system here, but we're not talking all the things. No, because we're going to chunk it up. And today's conversation is all around our throat. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Essential Oils Scoop podcast. We're here to help you confidently using essential oils in your daily life. No fluff, just real talk and practical tips. Each episode brings you education, inspiration, and of course, our scoop of the day. Let's elevate your wellness one drop at a time. We talk about our digestive system. We have our mouth, our throat, our stomach, our liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and intestines. We are just highlighting the throat, so don't get crazy. You can totally follow along. And we've picked some really, I don't want to say important, but really crucial emotions that a lot of people work through every single year. So
Yeah.
I know this hits home for me. I know it hits home for Sarah. So we're bringing it to you live right now. Sarah,
Well, because in your throat, I mean, okay, we are going to talk just a little bit about what this entails with our throat, just
that's
because I
fair.
want you to
That's
know
fair.
that it does include the esophagus, the larynx, the pharynx, the trachea, the epiglottis. Okay. I do want you to know that when we say throat, because a lot of times some people just point to their neck and they're like, yeah, my throat. And you're like, well,
I do
right
that.
there. When you're pointing to that, that's like your thyroid, that's your parathyroid. Where are you pointing to? So I want you to know that we're not talking about your throat in that respect. We're talking about inside, inside your body, right? We're talking about the pharynx, the larynx, the esophagus, the trachea, the epiglottis. So all of those parts as well can be put into that because I know we might have some questions that go along with what are we talking about?
That's fair. So within that, there's a lot of potential emotional roots. And instead of naming them all for you, we're anchoring into a couple underlining emotions. And some of the emotions that can get stuck in your throat is insecurity. Raise your hand if you've ever been insecure. I'm going to raise both of my hands. It's something I've struggled with my entire life. It ebbs and flows. I've gotten way better at trusting who I am and believing in myself. But friends, we all have our moments. And so there is an essential oil that I wanted to highlight today. And for just a quick reference, if you don't have the Essential Emotions book, friend, what the heck are you doing? I love you enough, and you better love yourself enough to get this book for you. So you have it on demand. You can get the app or the book itself, and it's down in the show notes. Okay, after I had my mama voice on you, the essential oils that you can tap into to help elevate yourself from that low vibration of feeling insecure would be cassia, laurel leaf, bergamot, one of my favorites, and so Sarah's beautiful essential oil. We have cinnamon, citrus bliss, lavender, pink pepper, metapower, and gardenia. Oh my gosh, gardenia is delicious. But today, friends, we're anchoring into Naio Wood. And maybe some of you have it. It's in a 5 milliliter bottle. Maybe some of you don't. But Sarah, before we pressed record, reminded me that it's in our Frankenstick. So the frankincense plus Naio Wood stick that doTERRA has currently, you can get the essential oil in that. So it's not forgotten, it's not lost. You can purchase it right now if you're listening to this. So why am I picking Naio Wood for the emotional root of feeling insecure? It's because Naio Wood is the essential oil of sensitive strength. And there's a lot of empathic people in this world, and I am one of them. Oh my gosh, friends. I don't have enough numbers in my head to count for how many times I could have used this growing up, used it in the hard moments. I love in the book, again, in paragraph 2, it states Niall Wood encourages individuals to reflect on how they react to criticism and disapproval and helps them uncover whether their self esteem relies too heavily on others' approval. Just for funsies, I'm going to read it again because this hits home. And I know you tuned in a little more when I read that sentence. And Sarah's smiling, by the way. She's like, yes, I did. Naio Wood encourages individuals to reflect on how they react to criticism and disapproval and helps them uncover whether their self esteem relies too heavily on others' approval. Now, there was a time, or two, or many, in my younger years that I did hold my self esteem on the approval of others. And looking back, I'm like, oh, broken Vicky, I'm so sorry you wasted all that time doing that. Not anymore, friends. There's all these tools like the essential oils, like the coaching that I receive and now I give to others. Like that's why I'm in the business of what I'm doing, right? Naio Wood can help us when we are feeling overstimulated and overwhelmed, when we have those poor boundaries, because when we have poor boundaries, friends, guess what? Our self-esteem is not as high as it could be. We start to feel maybe codependent, afraid. We suppress our emotions. And what are we talking about? The emotions we store in our throat. How many times have we felt that knot, that lump where we just can't get the words out? We cannot express our emotions. Before I talk your ear off some more, Sarah, what are some of the things you love about Naio Wood? I would love to hear from you.
Well, I'm just looking at the need for validation.
Mm,
And I see this a lot with a lot of different people who feel like they obviously we talked about a little bit about the need for others' approval and their self-esteem, but also that need for validation and acceptance. It's normal to want to be accepted by people, right? That's a normal feeling that is completely normal of wanting to have a place of feeling like you belong, right? That's super normal. What's not normal is like constantly wanting that approval for yourself when you're the person who needs to give yourself the approval, not everybody else. But it takes some learning. It takes a learning curve, especially if you fall into that very easily, that you need that and like self-awareness piece to come up for you. And then this oil kind of comes in to help you to be more empowered, to find that strength. And then you can move towards that being more self-assurance and more confident. Also having personal autonomy, right? Like
mhm,
it guides us through in having that sense of worth and not relying on what other people think about us. And I think that's really hard. I remember somebody telling me, I remember turning 30. Okay. I remember the day I was turning 30 and I cried like a baby. And I had a friend, older friend. She was like 40, maybe 42 or something like that at the time. But I was like just about to turn 30. And I remember her telling me, Sarah, your 30s, you gain confidence in who you are. But by the time you're 40, you no longer care about what other people think because you realize that, like, they don't have the best of intentions for you and that you become your own person. And she's like, you might be sad, you might be like mourning your 20s, and you might be feeling old at this moment. But when you get into your 40s, this is where you are going to be like the best version of yourself by then because you have figured out that you don't need everybody else's approval, that you don't need to go and try to like become somebody you're not, and that you will start to learn self-acceptance through your 30s, and by the time you hit 40 you're going to be like this the one of the best versions of yourself because you've already gone through all these life experiences, and it will help you just to be more self-aware, self-assured. You're going to be more confident. And she kept telling me all these things, and like I couldn't get past, I was like going to have to put a 3 in front of my age, right? Now I wish I could go back to my 30s and like slap that girl upside the head and be like, hey, listen here. It's going to be, you're going to have some rough stuff and you're going to have some amazing stuff, but enjoy the journey because I did not. At times I stressed too much about stupid things and I didn't
mhm.
enjoy the moments enough. And we start to we start to deplete ourselves because we don't enjoy the journey enough. We get so caught up in everything else that we feel really insecure and we lose our confidence. We don't become a very confident person because we get so wrapped up in the minutia details of what others feel, think, what they're thinking about us. Guess what? It's none of our business what other people think about us.
No, it has nothing to do with you. And nope, has nothing to do with you. That's why I personally can't keep up and decided not to keep up with famous people and their lives. It's like, no, 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 I got my own. I got my own. So I want to read this to you. The book says it so eloquently. Before we go on to another essential oil and emotion that we want to highlight. And Naio Wood in the book, again, get it for yourself. Naio Wood fosters self-awareness and empowers individuals to find the strength they need to embark on a journey towards self-assurance. This is exactly what Sarah was talking about. Self-restraint and personal autonomy. Again, what Sarah just talked about. It guides them in cultivating a sense of innate worth that is more resilient and independent of external validation. Friends, if you struggle with this, put it somewhere where you know you can use it. Add it to a diffuser blend. Apply it topically to your pulse points. Huff it. Put it over your stomach. Put it over your heart, back of neck. Utilize this beautiful tool. Naio Wood is the essential oil of sensitive strength, and it's here to help you. Okay. Moving on before we keep you all day. Sarah, what is one of the emotions you wanted to highlight?
Well, I'm going to go back to the throat for 2 seconds and kind of go back through here really quickly because I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that you might be feeling in your throat. This might come up for you. Um, a lot of times when things start to come up in our throat, it's because we've been suppressing or denying something, and you get that lump in your throat, or you don't want to talk about something and you're just trying to keep swallowing it down because it doesn't, you don't want to bring it up because it might rock the boat or it might cause some friction. But when you do that, you're kind of, well, you are not kind of, you are suppressing your own thoughts and feelings. And that just starts to build. And this is why we get emotions that get stuck into our throat. Okay, because we might be blaming or projecting or condemning others or ranting, or maybe we want to rant and we don't rant. Maybe we need to for a second, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe we
Yeah.
are, or maybe we're experiencing some sort of shame because we know what's really in our hearts, but we want to say it out loud, but it's not going to come out right. It's not going to be said right. It's going to be offensive, whatever it is, and we're just trying to swallow it down and not express those emotions, and we might feel stuck or stagnant, any of those. Okay, so any of those things, if any of those things like ring true to you, then you may want to like really pay attention to the this idea. And my emotion that I really wanted to highlight uh today for everybody, I guess you could say, it was the emotion of constricted, because I feel like sometimes we feel constricted when we get that lump, like we're not allowing ourselves to express ourselves. We feel held back in some sort of way.
Yep.
And the emotion I really wanted to the oil, because there's lots of oils here, right? Like Vicky talked about a bunch of oils that are in for insecure, and this one for constricted is Aroma Touch, great oil. Revitazone, which is the other one I kind of like teetered on. Lavender, Cypress, which is what we're going to talk about. Breathe, cilantro, hinoki, and Ravensara. So I really wanted to focus in on this, but I wanted to read you the questions first as we go. Then we're gonna head over to the oil because I think these questions for constricted are just spot on. What is holding you back? What is it? Now, this is a big question, right? This is a good journal question. This is such a good journal prompt.
It is. Really is.
Number two, what life experiences have caused me to limit myself?
We don't have enough time in this episode, Sarah, for me to unbag this.
I know.
Wow.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Third question, what will it take for me to let go of the limitations I've placed on myself?
I love how it puts it back in your lap.
Bingo.
You should see
A
Sarah. She's like,
freaking
she
men.
just pointed like, yep, there
Well,
you
like
go.
you are spot on. Like I love how this brings us back to the responsibility piece because
Mhm,
nobody else can is responsible for how we feel. You are the only person who can hold on to your emotions. You are the only person who can make you feel the way you want to feel. Even if somebody is being super offensive, you are the one who's being are is feeling offended.
mhm,
Even if that person did mean to offend you, even if there was their full intention,
mhm.
you still are choosing to allow them to offend you.
That is so true. And for some people listening to this, that might be offensive to them because they're not ready to hear what it is, right? But we have every bit of control when it comes to what's going on between our ears and what's
Mhm.
going on in our heart. Yeah,
Your
love it.
responsibility is how you feel, not others. My kids used to be like, they made me angry. No, no, no. You're making yourself angry. They may have done something to you, but you're choosing to be angry in this moment. Oh gosh, they would get so mad at me when I would say things like that to them. But it's because it's truth, and nobody wants to hear the truth when you feel like you want to be vindicated for how you feel.
Yeah.
If you want to be vindicated for how you feel, talk to a girlfriend. But if she's a really good girlfriend, she'll be like, "That's on you, girlfriend."
Hmm. Yeah.
Like I understand that that's what you're feeling, but right now you need to take responsibility for how you're feeling. This person, even though if they're super offensive, and let me tell you, I opened up my social media feed and sometimes I'm like, that's all I can do to not like roll my eyes so hard that they like get stuck in the back of my head. But at the same time, I'm like, that's how they feel. I can't force them to feel differently. I
No,
can't force the world to see the things that I see from my point of view.
you can't. I love
And
that question, Sarah. I didn't mean to digress. I
no,
just
it's
love
okay.
that
It's a
question.
great question. So let's jump in and let's really talk about Cypress because I really actually like Cypress a lot. Cypress is a great oil. It's it's a great intimacy oil too. I know I say that about almost everything, but it's a really great intimacy oil. But let's talk about why it's the oil of motion and flow. It is powerful. It is one of our most, I would say, if you want to get things moving in your body, you want to get things just moving in general, you want stagnant energy to just start moving, you want to get more into the flow of something, this is going to be the oil you want to use. So, this oil helps to get stagnant energies just moving. It works in the heart and the mind, and it creates flexibility. How many of us are lacking flexibility in the world today?
Well, I would be lying if I said, "Oh no, I'm totally good in all areas of my life." No. There's some areas that I'm already thinking ahead of, okay, I'm gonna make sure I have my bottle. Like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm gonna have the help of Cypress.
Cypress teaches the soul how to let go of the past by moving with flow of life. Do we
Yes.
not need that right now? Let's let go of past hurts, past emotions, past stuff, past baggage that's holding you back from where you need to be.
Hmm.
This oil is especially indicated for individuals who are mentally or emotionally stuck, stiff, rigid, tense, overstriving, or have perfectionistic tendencies.
Sarah's raising her hand, by the way.
I
We love you,
am.
Sarah. But again, this is a beautiful tool for you to anchor into.
I can be a perfectionist. I can get into perfectionistic tendencies a lot. I can get into overstriving. I mean, just check out my walls. I have like certificates upon certificates, right? Like that's all because like I have to be an overachiever at sometimes. Hard driving stems from the fear and the need to control. Do we not know me by now? If you're just listening, if this is your first episode, hello, welcome. I like to control things.
It feels good on the nervous system, so we think, right? Like that you're human.
Yeah.
We're human here.
The individual tries to force things in life rather than allowing them to unfold naturally. And then God is just like,
You're
I
so
got,
cute.
you're so adorable. You think that that's the way you're going, but I got a plan for you, right?
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
love that this oil helps us to just let go of our worries, let go of that need for control. This is why I like this oil, obviously, right? Like this is such a great oil to help us to let go of some of that because I know I am. I know that's me, right? It
Hmm.
is me. I want to try to control the outcomes. I want to control how things go. I want to have everything in a perfect order that I think is the perfect order.
Yeah, your Sarah's perfect order, right? Because we all,
Mhm.
I mean, we don't have to be perfectionists to like have our own way of doing things that make the perfect sense to us, but then look at other people like, aren't you crazy? Why didn't you do it this way? Whoa, 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 whoa. They're not
Like
crazy.
even loading the dishwasher, how many of us have a specific way that we load the dishwasher?
Okay. I was about to share a story that wasn't mine, but I can't out of confidence with the other person. But that happens in adulthood, by the way,
Hmm?
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know how many times I have to not go behind somebody who just filled the dishwasher and fix it because I think it needs to be fixed my way versus does it really matter? As long as the dishes get clean, your way is not more perfect than somebody else's way. But some of us feel like we have to do that a certain way so dishes and maybe it's from experience, we're like, okay, if we tip the bowls over, the bowls, if they're then the water's going to get into them easier and everything's going to come back out, right? But if we have it on the side, then you're going to get some drippings still
Girl,
stuck in
we
there.
could have a whole 45-minute
uh,
conversation on
just
how
on
we pack the
the
dishwasher.
dishwasher, right? Seriously. But that is just one teensy tiny little example in our lives of how we try to control something, or we have a perfectionistic, or we look at our way being the right way versus is it really the best way?
It's just a
No,
way. Hmm.
it's just one of the many ways.
Hmm.
And I know somebody's out there going, but no, my way is the best.
Yeah.
I know you're listening right now, and I know that's what you're thinking.
Mhm.
And I'm going
Like,
to
oh, you're
invite
so
you
funny. My way's
to
the best
use
way.
I'm going to invite you to use some Cypress and some humility and to understand that your way might not be perfect and your way might not be the best,
Yeah.
but to let go of that need and that expectation of your way having to be the right way.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to live free without that compulsion of I have to have it my way or the best way or feeling super tense or rigid over a certain way of things being done. There's no one right answer to every single question in this world,
Mm-mm.
unless it's math. Then math does have one right answer. Two plus two always equals
But
four.
how
It
you
doesn't.
get there can be different.
Oh, for sure.
Hmm.
You can have 25 different ways of getting two plus two is equals four. I don't care how you do it. You can do two apples and two bananas equal four. You know what I mean? It can be there. But math is the only thing that has a concrete answer.
Hmm.
Everything else ebbs and flows. And the more you learn to ebb and flow in this world, the happier and the more peaceful you'll find yourself.
Yeah. So, Sarah, before we wrap this up, I want to know how you used Cypress and how you would recommend, our listeners to tap into its beauty.
How I like to use Cypress is in the intimacy world, but that's a totally different discussion for a totally different day. And we will talk about that coming up because we do have a great Valentine's episode coming. So that is coming soon. Um, so how else I like to use Cypress? I actually love to put this on I love to use this emotionally. If we're talking emotions right this second, I love to put this on my abdomen. Um, I just feel like when I use this on my abdomen in that core, I want I want everything just flowing better, right? So I'll use this on my abdomen, bottoms of your feet, right? Because we want to have that flow and that motion moving through the entire body. And then also on your spine is a great place to put it because we
I'm
want
shaking
that
my
to
head,
go to,
Sarah. The spine, like the lower back and spine is my go-to for some reason. I don't have to have physical pain there, right? Discomfort. But it's motion and flow and I'm thinking, okay, I'm here anyways.
yeah,
Didn't mean
because
to
it's going to go
interrupt.
systemically everywhere. If you
Correct.
Do that on the spine. It brings that motion, that flow everywhere in the body. If you are having physical pain, put it there, right? Physical pain. This is going to be a great oil for you. Um, I actually like the smell of cypress. Not everybody does. It's a tree. So like I like the smell of cypress.
Me too.
I love cypress with wild orange intimacy for intimacy purposes also, but also I love that. I love them together in a diffuser.
Hmm.
Love them. They smell so good together. And so if you're working on some things where you're like, I need to let go of some of my weird quirkiness, use some cypress and some wild orange together in your diffuser.
Is that your scoop of the day, friend?
That is my scoop of the day.
Oh, I
It
love it.
is
Oh, I
three
love it.
drops of cypress and 4 drops of wild orange, or 5, depending upon if you're a heavy pourer.
You know we are. And if not, now you know. Welcome into our circle of essential oil education. Friends, my scoop of the day is for you to take action. Of course, we can't do it for you. I can't hold your hand. I can't bring you to water to drink, right? But guess what? You are an adult listening to this podcast for a reason. You were meant to listen to this. So take action. Do yourself a favor. Love yourself enough. Tap into Naio Wood, tap into Cypress, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our essential oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.